Hey everyone, it's John playing Immaculate Grid, doing what I do. Coming off of back-to-back, getting it on the timed version, but then messing up on on the rarity score version. Not really regretting messing up on the who played catcher and shortstop. That was not a category I was really prepared for. But yesterday I messed up. I fused Mike Stanley and Mike Stanton in my mind. Two very, very different ball players, and Mike Stanley did not play for the Mets. So um I know the difference between the two. I was just messed it up yesterday. Anyway, let's play today's game. I've got the Myrtle Beach Bowl going on up in the corner there, so that's my this wonderful time of the year, when the Myrtle Beach Bowl is on. All right, so I'm showing I guess this was the rarity score version. So I'll hit refresh, I'll hit play, and we'll get into it. And away we go. I think Tony Perez will work. Jimmy Fox certainly works. Pitched in a game and hit 30 home run. Babe Ruth, I guess. I was only going to be a couple options. All right. Let's see. Gold Glove. Yep. Um, can Concept. Gotta believe he was a Gold Glove winner. Yep. Mookie Betts. Greg Maddux. Less obvious choices. All right, and then over here we'll go Pedro. And we'll go Orlando Cabrera. And we'll go shoot. I was thinking people already played up in the row there. Let's see here. Um all right, I've already exceeded a minute. Any Reds player not born in the United States. Aroldis Chapman. That took me too long. All right. Minute 30. Way too long though. All right. I don't know why it took me so long. I was just like, Dave Concept. No. Tony Pratt. Oh wait, I already played those guys. So I don't know. Mookie Betts, pretty obvious choice there. Jimmy Fox a little bit lower. That's interesting. Um, Obviously Babe Ruth there. So I mean, I just have to come up with just someone who's pitched in a game and had 30 home runs. Pujols will work. Saw him pitch his one time. Orlando Cabrera was a pretty good one. All right, so I'm gonna stop sharing. We'll go for the rarity score with a little bit more deliberation than we played that one with. I think this was yesterday's time version. Hit refresh. All right. So some less obvious 30 homer guys, some less obvious gold glovers. Oh, let's see. Over here, I know Rick Rochelle will work. Goes 0.2, pretty good start. Canseco will work, Pujols will work. That's two that I just came up with. Um, Obviously Shohei Ohtani will work. There's some other sluggers I know Wade Boggs pitched, but Canseco pitched and got hurt. I think that's why I remember that one. Um, yeah, I'm gonna go Canseco. Let's see how memorable that was. 11%. Okay, I probably could have beaten that. I wonder if Pujols would have been better there. I remember watching him pitch. So rarity score is already pretty well shot. There's bound to be a better one there. All right. So some Red Sox with 30 home run seasons that maybe flew a little bit more under the radar. How about Vern Stevens? 39 home runs in, I believe, the 19, well, this was in my book, so it was the 1949 season. Um, he and Ted Williams both had 159 RBI. They tied. And I wrote about this essentially that Ted Williams was in position to win a uh, third Triple Crown going into the final day of the season. The Red Sox were in a position to win the pennant over the Yankees going into the last game of the season. They were tied. Um, Williams actually run. He's on second base. With the potential to score one of the clawback runs in the ninth inning. The Red Sox were losing at this point, but he stops at third base. They're losing by multiple runs. So, depending on how hard Stevens hit the ball, but it's possible that Williams, if the game situation maybe been a little different, he taken that risk, he could have run himself out of the Triple Crown. But at the same time, over in, I think it was in Cleveland. Cleveland was playing Detroit. George Kell, who had 3 home runs and way fewer plate appearances on the year. George Kell manages to sneak by him for the batting title. So I think that's a fun little sequence. It's the kind of thing that if they had, ESPN or MLB Network back in the day, they would have been flashing back and forth between the stadiums. Would have been cool. Anyway, that was a little bit of a rant. Let's go with Pearsall here, Jim Pearsall. 0.3. And let's see here. Gold Glove for the Reds. Joe Morgan will certainly work. I believe Cesar Geronimo will work. I'm trying to think if there's any pitchers who will work, but none that are springing to mind. Votto maybe, but I'm not sure. Let's see if we're going all the way back. Maybe Vada Pinsel, but it's tricky when you're dealing with the like Vada Pinsel played in the 1960s, and you're playing alongside Roberto Clemente and Willie Mays. That's 2 of the outfield Gold Gloves right there. So there's only one more to get. But I think he might have snuck in there. Come back to that one. Let's see, 30 home runs for the Reds. Brandon Phillips did have a 30 home run season, a 30-30 season. Jay Bruce will certainly work. Votto, of course, works. Eugenio Suarez works. You get like George Foster has the Reds record, I think, for most home runs in the season. Griffey had a couple 30 home run seasons, 140 home run season. Greg Vaughn, 45 in 1999. Larkin had a 30-30 season. Eric Davis had a 30-50 season, I think, as well as I want to say a 27-80 season the year before. Those all seem like really popular choices. The one I'm thinking will be the best. Frank Robinson will work too. Yeah, Perez works. Bench works. Morgan does not work. Ken Griffey Sr. is not going to work. Dave Parker will work. And Ted Kluszewski will work. Kluszewski had almost 50. That's who I'm going to go with, though, because it was in the 50s. I think that'll be a better bet. 64%. Okay. I listed a lot of people. I wonder if one of those was lower than 4%. Man, still struggling to come up with a Gold Glove winner. I think Larkin did win Gold Gloves after Ozzie Smith was maybe not retired, but in more of a bench role. Or here, I'm gonna go with Max Suzuki. I just figured that'd be a pretty low one. Red Sox born outside the United States. Hideo Nomo. That would be workable. Tony Perez would work there. I did use him, but in a different category in the last game. Cabrera was kind of a sneaky pick. I mean, he was sub 1. Obviously played a half season with the Red Sox before going elsewhere after the 05, during the 04 season, or he played during the 04 season. He was traded for Nomar, among other players. Manny and Ortiz and Pedro are all going to be big percentage getters. So I'm going to try to stay away from those guys. I wonder if there's any. And Beltre played one season with the Red Sox, so maybe I'll keep him in my hip pocket here. Canseco I've already used, so never mind that. Um, yeah, I'm just sort of dancing around here. Um, who was in that bullpen by committee? Yeah, it's a bunch of, I think it's a bunch of American guys. Curtis Laskanik and Keith, well, Keith Folk is the next year. Papelbon's the year after that. Uh, Tiant, Louis Tiant. That'd be an interesting choice I could go with. Um, there's no shortage of names. I'm just trying to think who's gonna be kind of the sneakiest from a rarity score perspective. Um, Cabrera might have been. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be better picks than that, but Cabrera might have been the sneakiest one that I'm gonna just come up with. I'm not actually sure where Ed Romero was born, so I'm not gonna play him. Um, not sure where Marcos Scudero's from off the top of my head. I know he was with the Red Sox. Just sort of dancing around the horn, really. What about Victor Martinez? Kind of snuck into Boston for a little bit. Let's try Victor Martinez. Okay, 0.2. And then for the Red Sox, looking for a Gold Glove winner and looking for someone born outside the U.S. who's not Davey Concepcion or Aroldis Chapman or Tony Perez, because I've already used all three of those. And I've used them for different categories, but I don't want to reuse them. I want to keep it fresh. Um, yeah, let's see here. What about yeah, Jose Rio, I think is going to be a pretty popular one. Um, Santiago played for the Reds, but not for very long. 0.2. All right. And then for Gold Glove, so bench is an easy one. Morgan is an easy one. I'm pretty sure on Votto, Phillips, and Larkin. I'm like greater than 90% sure on Larkin. Feeling pretty good about Phillips. I know he had to compete against Orlando Hudson for a bit there. Votto's competing against Pujols early and Goldschmidt later on, so not as sure there. Cesar Geronimo, he was in that lineup for his defense. This is, if you're thinking about the big red machine, you got Bench, you got Perez, you got Morgan, you got Pete Rose, you got Foster in left, Ken Griffey Sr. in right. And then your shortstop is Davey Concepcion, who I just played, and your center fielder is Cesar Geronimo, who I suppose also probably would have worked. Actually, I don't know, but he's in that lineup for his defense. He's not a big offensive threat, so he had to have won Gold Gloves. Which surprised me if he won't work. Let's throw him in there. So he takes 2%. Okay, so pretty good score. Jose Canseco taking 11%. How many options were there? There were 47 options, and I probably chose like the third or fourth worst. The question is just, was I going to identify any of these other guys as having pitched in a game at some point? Adam Dunn, really? Was not going to get that. Bill Hall, I just feel like I would have remembered if he'd done it with the Brewers. Maybe. And Bill Hall will do anything to help the team. Pitching a blowout, absolutely. Usual. Swisher does not surprise me. Ted Williams kind of surprises me. Ted Williams doing something that isn't hitting and presents a non. Oh, I should have gotten Rowdy Tellez. I should have gotten Rowdy Tellez. I even tweeted or X'd that or whatever, posted it. After he signed with the Pirates just the other day, I was like, yeah, he's signing as a reliever, right? Because he was on the mound. Brewers were beating the Marlins 16-0 in the game in which they clinched the postseason. And they're just like, screw it. Let's bring Rowdy Tellez out to get the last 3 outs. And he did. So, and I think didn't give up a run. So he's 0 ERA. And Tellez did have a 30 home run season in 2022. So I should have been able to come up with that as a Brewer fan. So that's the only one I'm kicking myself. I didn't know any of the others. I just remembered Canseco because he got hurt doing it. I did watch Pujols. That was the other one I was thinking of. So the others, I'm not mad that I didn't know. Okay. Well, fun game. It's you introduce new categories, but you introduce combinations of categories, and that's what kind of keeps you on your toes there. Because naming a player who hit 30 home runs, easy. Naming a player who pitched, easy. Putting the two together, and now you're like, wait a minute. I don't, I only know a couple people who this will work for. So, Baseball Reference is having some fun with it. Anyway, I'll get this uploaded. Enjoy the Myrtle Beach Bowl or whatever nonsense you're watching today, and have a great rest of your weekend. Peace.